All right, good evening, everyone. Let me get this set up here. All right, good evening. There we go. All right, I think I got it on the first try. Good evening. This is Sunday night. So this is Tara with Tara Beth Stamps. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in mid-Missouri. And tonight I'm going to show you a card using the Stampin' Up! Light the Way collection. So this is a bundle that'll be available in January on the 5th. The first time I saw this really spoke to me. It reminded me of the evenings in the summer as a kid with my grandfather. Hey Susan, hey Rosie, hey Heidi, thanks for joining me. So this brought back tons of memories from my childhood. So this was pretty high up on the list for me. So this is the first time I played with it, and I've had tons and tons of fun. So this is today's card. It's kind of a fun fold, just using some cutouts and stuff. So we're going to get this. Yes, Karen, I love this set, man. That old vintage Coleman light lantern my grandfather used to carry around every time we went fishing. So yeah, this is a big deal for me. So I'm going to get started on the card, and let's go. All right, so the first thing I did was I cut out a piece of garden green and a piece of the silver fold with the lighting the way die set. So I'm going to pull this out so you can see it. So here is that vintage lantern that's going to be so much fun. I can see it in red like a cherry cobbler. I can see it in the green like I used. It's got little bits that you can die cut to create those dimensional bugs and lightning bugs. Yes, we used it for camping too. You've got your flowers, you've got your different lightning bugs, or fireflies, I believe is what most people call them. We always called them lightning bugs when I was little. But I went ahead and cut this out with both, and I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm just going to preserve part of this. So you can be a little more careful so you don't have to throw as much away. But I had a piece that I could cut 2 of them out, so that's what I did. So I'm just going to trim these edges off here because I want that part to be green. And then I'm just going to cut the bottom off. And then I'm going to cut the top portion off, just so that center is that silver. So I'm going to throw this away. You could always save it for another project. You never know when you might need it. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to take a piece of vellum, and I've got a pencil here, and I'm just going to kind of sketch a little bit on the outside so that I get a definitive line. There we go. And I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to cut a little bit on the inside of that marking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to color this with a blend, but I don't want it hanging off the edge. So that's why I'm cutting on the inside of that line. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up and see how much more I have to trim, because I'm definitely going to have to trim some more. Okay. So I'm going to cut this bottom portion off. There we go. I'm going to take quite a bit off on this side, it looks like. I hope everybody's weekend was amazing. It's starting to get cold here and really stay cold, I think, though. You have LED lights, that's cheating. Yes, that for sure is cheating, Mary. You can't have that kind of fanciness. Not when you're roughing it. We had air conditioning though, so that's not exactly roughing it either. All right. Wow, I'm really... There we go. Let's see here. Okay, I think I can make that work. I'm just going to cut off one more little corner and we'll call that good. Okay, so I'm going to take this vellum that I'm not using anymore and all my tidbits and throw those away. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a light daffodil delight. blend. And I'm going to give this vellum some color because I want it to project that glowing light that that lantern's giving us. On the original, I think I used a darker color and I wanted it to be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to, you can kind of, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but I can see that it's definitely not dry. It's that alcohol ink, so I'm going to kind of give it a little blow so that I can make sure it's dried up. And then I'm going to take just some liquid adhesive and run it along the top, just a little bit in that center, being very careful not to get blotchy in a lot of it. And then I'm going to flip that over and adhere that. So you can see it doesn't like look really pretty on the back, but that's fine because you're not going to see that part. So see, look how that just gave it just a little bit of color. 1 to 2 feet of snow. I hope you got your groceries. If it was anything like here, the groceries were wiped out. They call for an inch of snow here and everybody's losing their mind. Okay, so here's my lantern piece. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to, ooh, I didn't want glue there. There we go. I'm going to take my paper snips if I can find them. There we go. Or not my snips, my tweezers. I'm a little shakier tonight than normal. I don't know what's going on. Probably too much caffeine this weekend. All right, here we go. So there's our fun little lantern, which I think is absolutely adorable. All right. Oh, as long as you've got the oatmeal and the coffee, you are set. Throw in a little popcorn. All right, so I cut out a piece of basic white, and it looks like I used the 3rd largest stitch rectangle in the stitch rectangle dies to do this. So the 3rd from the largest, and I already die cut that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a little bit of grass, and I'm using my Orchid Oasis. So I've got a little scrap here, clean up my area a little bit, and I'm just gonna kind of stamp it just sporadically. It doesn't have to be perfect, just, you know, blades of grass. Maybe do a couple little second generations there. We've got another grass at here. You can do that right there. I think that's good enough. So that's just to give that little bit of scene there. So next, I'm going to take my Balmy Blue as well as a blender brush. And so I don't have one for every color, but I do have one for every color family. So I've got red and orange and yellow, brown, gray, and then the entire rainbow. Purple and blue you could probably get by using those together. But just make sure you clean it off really good in between uses. So I'm taking that Balmy Blue and I'm just starting on that edge and blending in. So you'll definitely have different variations of color, which makes it a little nice. And I'm just going to turn it as I work it. So I usually do a tap, as well as sometimes I just get frustrated and just do a whole lot of ink. You just have to be real careful. Uh-oh, baby boy's home. Wonder what's going on there. All right, there we go. So I like that color. You're just gonna add ink until you get to the color that you want. And you can see I did a little, well, I don't know what that is, but I think I can cover that up with my lantern. So I was considering using embossing powder, but I really didn't want to. So I'm just gonna use basic gray in full strength. And I'm gonna set him over here on this side. Now, I have a small ball of glow, I guess is what I would say, that we're going to use on, there we go. You can't hardly see it, but, and now I need to grab my stamp set because I didn't set that one out. I have the, I don't know, maybe the, I don't know what you would call this, but we're going to ink that up. So this is the trail behind your bug here. And I'm going to use that as a second generation. So I stamped that off first before I stamped it on my paper. Freezing drizzle. No, I don't want any of that. I hope none of that's coming here. I don't watch the news and I don't watch the weather because I don't like negativity in my life. So I hope none of that is coming here. Okay, so you can see that that's going to cover that spot up that I had. So I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to cut some of these. I like to use the edges on these little narrow pieces. Oh, I think that's going to be too big though. So we'll just do one at the top and one at the bottom. I'm going to take these off. Now all the dimensions are going to be on my blog. If I missed some questions, thanks Mary, I'm glad you like it. If I miss any of the questions, I'll be back for those as well. But I'll have all of this stuff on my blog tomorrow, along with the video once I get it downloaded tonight. So this is what we're going to do for the front. So on your card base, this is a 4 1/4 by, I don't know, 7 piece of cardstock, and I scored it at 5 1/2. And we're going to fold this down just to burnish it. And then I've got some layers of cardstock that I already have cut out somewhere. Here they are. I changed my workstation around. I keep changing it every week until I find something that's going to work. We'll see if that ever happens. All right, now I'm taking a piece of the Country Gingham DSP. You guys, this is the sweetest DSP I think we've had in a really long time, and it's so versatile because you can use it with absolutely everything. It's going to take over, I think, for my Subtles DSP that I use. It's perfect. And I love gingham. Who doesn't love gingham? And the colors are perfect. Let's see here. What's in here? So, looks like you've got Balmy Blue, Mint Macaron, Petal Pink, and Sweet Sorbet. Look at all of these. I love it. Love, love, love. Okay. So there's one layer. And here's the second layer. So once again, I'm using that liquid adhesive. You know that's easier to move things around. Yikes. That's going to make a mess. Let me see if I've got it. There we go. Look how that works. Get rid of that because that's going to make a mess. All right. And then we're going to layer this one with liquid adhesive up at the top. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is, because it's me and you know me, I love to use different adhesive. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal at the top here. And I'm only using just a very small bit, at the top, because part of this is going to be open. So I'm going to line this up and decide where I want it and adhere it down. You want to be careful and make sure you make it straight because it is not that forgiving. It's not like liquid adhesive. I'm going to flip it open and I'm going to do a couple of more just lineups with that Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to take this piece down here and I'm going to line it up with the bottom of the card as close as I can. I'm going to shut this and seal it right there. So then you have your opening when you flip it open. All right, we're getting close to the end. I know, I love these color combos too, Rosie. I was looking for something to go with the green and the balmy blue, and the So Saffron jumped out at me, and I really felt like I needed something else, and I could have used garden green again, but I really didn't want to. I wanted a little more, and I like this starry sky with it. Okay, it doesn't look like I got garden green out for this, so we'll use Old Olive because that's what I used on the front. There's no rules on how many colors we can use. All right, I'm gonna ink this up, and I'm gonna make sure that I get this right in the center because we want it to be underneath the parts that are not showing. Okay. I'm going to layer that with another piece of Starry Sky. Here we go. I feel like I need another lightning bug inside. What do you think? Does anybody agree? I almost want them to have, let's see here. I almost want them to have red in their lights because our lightning bugs around here don't just have yellow, they have red and green, like parakeet party green. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. Just a little bit here. That little glow of light coming from their rumpus. All right. And we will adhere this to the inside, and then we'll move on to the envelope. Okay. Lining it up, making sure that it's nice and even and not smearing any ink. And there's the card. Super fun. You're all kinds of wonderful. It's a perfect all occasion card to give to that friend that's just, you know, always there for you and doing awesome things. Because sometimes I think we forget to send those cards out to the people that we love. Just because they see us all the time and they get cards, and it truly makes their day. All right, let's do another little lightning bug here. And then we'll do his trail. I'm going to stamp that off again. Karen, I'm so glad you like it. Thank you. This is such a fun set. I think it'll be one that we will see tons and tons of cute cards with. All right, and pairing it with the country gingham was perfect, I think. All right, so as I said, all of the information will be on my blog tomorrow. I've also got the information about my product share for the upcoming January to April catalog. So that information is out. So don't miss out on that. Nope, we can't have those naked envelopes. This week we've got a lot of stuff going on with the crew. We've got our blog hop on Tuesday, blog hop on Thursday. Lots of great stuff happening. So don't miss out. All right. And let's see here. So there it is. That's our card for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for giving me part of your weekend. I appreciate it. You guys have an amazing week, and I'll see you back here next week on Sunday for another card. Have a great one.